Moving on, plastic is everywhere. After being discarded, it continues to pose a real danger, especially inside our oceans. And now to deal with this plastic pandemic, if we may call it that, world powers have joined hands for what is seeming to be an ambitious project. Check out this next report for more. What is life like under the sea? The most unexplored parts of our planet contains 99% of all life. With the magnitude of undiscovered species and mysteries, do you know what else our oceans contain? 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic waste. 8.3 million tons of plastic is discarded every day. More than 200,000 tons of plastic floats on the surface. And 4 billion plastic microfibers dwell below the surface. An estimated 100 million marine animals die every year. Most of them mistake plastic waste to be their food, and others find themselves entangled in litter and fishing nets. Ocean pollution is widespread and it's now worsening. It poses a clear and present danger to human health and well-being. But the extent of this danger has not been widely comprehended by world leaders. Not up until now. After facing immense pressure from climate activists and scientists, a number of world leaders have come together for the One Ocean Summit. A 3-day summit organized in the French port city of Brest. The hybrid summit attended by the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, America's Special Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and several other African and European leaders, scientists, and major global economies. The 27 EU member states and 13 other countries have now formed a coalition to include an ambitious treaty to protect the high seas from pollution and crimes by the year 2030.
Today we are going to make commitments. These will be the commitments of Brest. They will enable us to consolidate useful actions. I am convinced of this and set an essential international agenda for the year 2022.
I'm just going to be frank about it, folks. There are large-scale, extraordinary operations that go on every single day at sea that are indistinguishable from major criminal enterprises on land themselves. And you know what I'm talking about. They use appalling practices of labor, money laundering, and fraud to destroy the good efforts of fisher people around the world who are trying to live by the rules.
We have launched the mission to restore our ocean and waters by 2030. We will fund it with €500 million. The mission will focus on Europe's 5 seas. For example, in the Mediterranean, our mission is to prevent and eliminate pollution, in particular plastic and chemical pollution.
Egypt is all set to host the United Nations Annual Climate Summit this year. And the leaders expect the summit to give fresh momentum to the upcoming UN Treaty on the High Seas. But protesters have denounced the summit, calling it a blue-washing operation. They say that it lacks ambition.
We denounce the lack of ambition in terms of real political will to protect the oceans. There are many declarations of principle, but this is what we have had throughout the 5-year term. Macron, king of the climate, king of the oceans, make your planet great again. And behind all that, there is no action or actions that are completely contradictory. This is the case for the climate. It is the case today for the oceans.
We denounce the holding of this summit under these conditions because no fishermen are invited to this summit, while scientists tell us that the biggest impact on biodiversity is overfishing today.
World leaders are under pressure to draft an agreement, and a new round of UN talks in March will aim to conclude this agreement, which will include curbing plastic waste, the High Seas Treaty, key summits on climate, along with biodiversity. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.